The young victim of a serial rapist thrown in jail for nearly a month, even though she did nothing wrong.
She was treated worse than any other criminal, that I can think.
County prosecutors holding her against her will so they could force her to testify.
Should she have ever been in jail?
This young lady should have never been put in the Harris County Jail. That is not an environment for a rape victim.
Was it the only option to put her in jail for 27 days?
A Channel 2 team investigation gets answers, holding leaders accountable.
What about other rape victims in the county, ma'am?
Jenny was the victim of a terrible crime. Instead of protecting her, the Harris County District Attorney's Office threw her in jail for nearly a month, forcing her to live alongside accused criminals. Her mother's pleas for help ignored.
Tonight, a special Channel 2 team investigation reveals why this could happen to any victim. Investigator Jace Larson exposes the actions of prosecutors and of the jail, going straight to the district attorney herself to get answers.
She is the all-American girl, a volleyball player in high school. But after graduation, Jenny's mom says she was diagnosed bipolar, and that's when her life changed. Jenny became homeless and then the victim of a horrific crime. Keith Hendricks attacked, choked, and raped Jenny in an abandoned house. When it came time for her to face the man who had done it to other women too, Jenny, who was one of the prosecution's key witnesses, couldn't do it. This transcript shows her incoherent, breaking down and saying she'd never return. She was found standing in the middle of traffic. Police took her to a hospital on a mental health hold, or so her family thought.
Jenny called me and she said, "Mom, I am in the Harris County Jail."
It turns out prosecutors were worried that they would lose their star witness, so they got a judge's order. That order said after Jenny was released from the hospital, she would go to jail.
Handcuffed and put in a patrol car.
Should she have ever been in jail?
Absolutely not.
Jenny's family recently hired attorney Sean Buckley to bring a lawsuit.
This young lady should have never been put in the Harris County Jail.
Turns out there is a state law that allows judges to put a witness in jail if that judge believes a witness will not show up to testify.
Have you ever heard of this type of thing happening to a rape victim?
Never.
It's astounding to me that this could have happened.
Channel 2 legal analyst Brian Weiss says at the very least, an attorney should have been appointed to represent Jenny's best interests. Jenny was jailed even though she hadn't broken the law.
She received less due process, less protection than her rapist did.
I got my hands on Jenny's jailhouse records, which show at times jail workers mistakenly believed that Jenny was the accused rapist. In 2 different psychiatric evaluations, jail staff mistakenly noted that she was arrested for aggravated sexual assault, even though it says Jenny tried to tell them she is the victim.
They entered in her information in the computer in such a way that identified her as the accused sex offender.
Jail employees who would have looked at her profile in the computer system, they might have thought that she was actually the rapist.
I believe that that contributed to much of the abuse that she suffered in the jail.
Jenny spent her days in the jail's general population, living with suspected criminals, one who had it out for Jenny.
She was in one pod where she was just beat up, and she received her first black eye.
Prosecutors could have asked, though, that Jenny be put in what's known as the nicest part of the jail. Each person has their own cell and a common area where they can come and go. But because prosecutors never made that request to the judge, Jenny was left with the general population. 3 weeks into her jail stay, Jenny apparently had had enough, and she punched a guard who punched her back.
You shouldn't hit a mental health patient with a closed fist.
Jenny's horror continued until she was brought back to the courtroom to testify against Hendricks. This time, she helped put Hendricks away for 2 life sentences. But if you think her testimony that day meant immediate freedom for Jenny, it didn't. Because Jenny might have been called to testify again, she was forced back into jail for 3 more days until testimony ended. We asked District Attorney Devin Anderson for an interview, but she refused.
Was it the only option to put her in jail for 27 days? Was that your office's only option, ma'am?
I can't comment on that.
Why not? Why can't you talk to us about a rape victim? Excuse us. Thank you.
What message does this send to other victims of rape?
I do fear that it will impact the willingness of some victims to come forward.
Oh gosh, none of them will want to testify against their rapist. Why would they?
A jail spokesman says that because the judge did not request special treatment, staff evaluated Jenny and then placed her where they felt it was best. Since there is limited space in jail, not every inmate can have a private cell. Now, late today, the DA's office told us that this lawsuit prevented them from commenting, but it said putting witnesses in jail is a common tool used by prosecutors and defense attorneys. Dominique, you and I have been working on this story now for a few weeks. I know you had a chance to really sit down and talk to her mother, and you have some more of that coming up.
Yes, Jace, I sure do. And as you know, it was an agonizing 27-day fight, and all of this going on during the Christmas season.